Students mainly struggle with serial dilution. So in this video, we're going to go through serial dilution, trying to make it very simple for us and how to answer exam question. So looking at the diagram here, I'm showing you two things. I'm showing you a serial dilution, and this is a simple dilution. Now, the common thing both of them is there is dilution. At the end, the concentration of my original stock is very less. I have lots of water and my original stock is less. So it's very dilute, and it's also dilute here. We need to know about serial dilution. So if you look into here, I have 10% is my concentration. Okay. Out of that 10%, I'm going to take away 1% and then place it in water. So I have diluted it. And then again, I will take that another 1% from here and put it more in water. So each time my dilution is basically the same fold, it's the same factor. That's serial dilution. In a simple dilution can involve one step or have multiple steps. Generally it's only one step really. I have my original stock and then I can just take 2.5% and put it in water. That's my dilution. Or if I want to make it even more diluted, I can go from my original stock, take 1% and the remaining amount will be water. So the dilution factor is not same. It looks confusing, so let's go through it with examples. So this is the exam question here. The exam question says that describe how you can make 1 in 10 dilution and then use this to make 1 in 1000 dilution of the original culture of the bacteria. So this is my stock solution here. Okay, so this is my stock solution. I'm showing you here as well. Both are the same diagram, not the same diagram, but can be used. This is my stock solution, and what do I want to do? I want 1 in 10 dilution. Okay, I want 1 in 10 dilution first, and then continue that dilution until I reach 1 in 1000. So until I reach the third test tube. This diagram here is showing you the same thing. This first test tube is the stock solution. The third is 1 in 1000. Alright, so maybe let's use the top diagram to explain to us. It might be a bit easier. So I have my original stock solution, and from here, from the original stock, from all of, I want to basically take one part of that. So I've taken here 1 mil as an example. I've taken 1 mil. Now in my first test tube, okay, 9 parts, okay, are going to be like liquid, or maybe it could be dilute water. So I want to dilute it. So that's done. Now that's called 1 in 10. But what do they want? They want 1 in 1000. So they want it really diluted. So what I'll do next is that I'm going to take again from this test tube, not from the original stock, not from there, from this one. I want to make sure it's mixed first, mix it well. AQA marks seem like you have to mention mix well, mix it really well. And from here, from the 1 in 10 dilution, I will take another 1 part, 1 mil, and place it into another test tube that's got 9 parts is only water. So now it's 1 in 100 dilution. It's more diluted. I want to mix that really well because they want 1 in 1000, right? I have 1 in 100, almost there. So I will take 1 part here, 1 mil, and put it into the third test tube that's got 9 parts water, and I want to dilute that. And that's the 1 in 1000, and that's how you would say. So 10 to the power of 1 means 1 in 10, 1 in 100, 1 in 1000. Okay, so that's how you do it practically. Now they could ask you in the exam about mathematical questions, so let's do that as well. Right, so let's have you need to know some formulas of this. Without a formula, it's really difficult. So this is the formula you have to memorize. C1 times V1 equals C2 times V2. you have to memorize this formula. So let's use my example here. So this is my original stock. Okay, my concentration is 10%, right? So that's my C1, the concentration of my original stock solution, C1, is 10%. In here I'm saying percentage, but in the exam might be mole DM3 minus. It'll be like you'll have a proper unit for it. So that's the concentration, my C1. Now I'm going to take one part of that into my new beaker there, or new test tube. So that is my V1. So V1 is the volume of that small part you are taking from the original stock to make the new solution that's diluted. That's my V1. My C2 is going to be the concentration in the new solution that's got lots of water. In here is 2.5% concentration. It's dilute, right? 10%, 25 to 2.5%, because in here there's lots of water. And V2 is the volume of the new solution. Okay, in total, what's the new volume of the new solution that you have made, that you are making? That's my V2. So in the exam, they'll give you, and here, how many values do you have? 1, 2, 3, 4. They're going to give you 3 values, and you have to find the 4th value, which means you have to, rearrange the formula. Okay, so can you? This is the one on the bottom is another formula, but I just feel like sometimes it's common sense, and you don't need to really use it. You can find it out without the formula, but you can use that. We'll tackle that later on. So using this formula, can you calculate the V1 first? So do you have C1? I have C1. C1 is 10. Okay, and then V1 is gonna be something that I don't know. Is the one that I'm going to find out. Is the volume that of the stock solution that's used. So V1 is that. How much am I putting? How much am I taking out? I don't know. C2, do I have C2 concentration of the new one? Yes, 2.5. V2, yes, 10%. So put that into your formula and see if you can rearrange and to get the answer. Okay, so let's go through a real exam question. So this is the one we're going to go through. Let's see if the answers are there to show you. In here I don't have answers, so I want to go to a different example. This one I have answers for it. Okay. So a student made up all the sodium chloride solution using 1.0 mole DM-3. Now mole DM-3, whenever you have mole and then DM-3, it always means concentration. So that's a very important hint to memorize. Mole and DM3, these two together is concentration unit. So this student, what are they doing? They are using this concentration of sodium chloride, and they added distilled water. They want to add distilled water. So they want to dilute it, right? And then what we have is complete the table to show how he made 20 centimeter cube of 0.2 mole DM-3. So this might be really confusing. So all you have to do at the beginning, just write down your C1, V1, C2, V2. Make your life simple. And then find out what clues can I get from here to find the 3. And then if I find a 3 in the given question, remember, they have to give you 3 things. The 4th one I can find out myself. So C1, this is the concentration of the original solution. So where can I have a hint? Oh, 1.0 mole DM-3. That's the original concentration. If you are not really sure, how many concentration are in this question? 0.2 mole DM-3 and 1.0. Which one's more concentrated? Which one is a bigger number? Is 1 is bigger number. So 1 has to be the stock solution. So my stock solution, my original solution is 1 mole DM minus 3. And V1, what is that? It's the amount that is needed, the volume that is needed from the original to be added to the dilute solution. So I don't know about that. They are asking me to find that out. Can you see here? They are asking you to find volume here, volume of the original stock solution. They are asking me to find out the volume of the original stock solution that was needed to make the new concentration, that dilution. And we don't know that, how much was taken out. Let's go back here. They're asking me to find this one. How much was a transfer? How much volume did I transfer from the original as my V1? Okay, let's go back. So C2, this is the concentration of the dilute. Do I have concentration? There's 2 concentration. This is the smaller number, so this is the new concentration of the dilute that was made, and V2 is the volume of the dilute, the total volume, which means the water plus the small amount of volume taken out from the original is 20. All right, so if you start rearranging, so you should get this. Let me move my face from here. So if you start rearranging, okay, your V1 is going to be 4 centimeter. So 4 centimeter was the volume that was added to your original. So 4 centimeter was added to the water. So the answer is for here is 4 centimeter. So if this is 4 centimeter, how much distilled water was added to make 20 centimeter? It's a very simple maths. 20 minus 4. So it's going to be 16 centimeter cube. Now, volume of distilled water, volume is always going to be centimeter cube. So sometimes they ask you to put units as well. All right, let's do this one here. Have a read, pause the video, and remember, if you're getting stuck, always C1, C1, V1, V2, C2, V2. Okay, pause the video and have a go. As you're doing this, they want you to basically put down the unit here. What's the unit going to be here? And what's the heading going to be here? And the unit. And remember, it has to be from the C1, V1, V2, C2, and so on. Okay, so in here, it says volume. Okay, so volume of 1 mole DM3. So this is my concentration of my original stock, and they're asking me how much is the volume that I am sort of transferring as my V1. Volume is in centimeter cube, that's the unit. And in here they are asking you to find out how much distilled water is required to make that dilution, and obviously volume is always going to be in centimeter cube, so I have put / centimeter cube. Right, so I have my formula C1 V1 C2 V2. Read the question, and then you should have come to this conclusion that the C1, the original is 1 mole DM minus 3. Have a look at the hints. Look at the hints. Where can you see concentration? Mole DM 3 minus 3. 1 here, mole DM minus 3. I can see 1 mole DM minus 3 there. Anywhere else I can see here. It even says it's a concentration 0.04 mole DM minus 3. Which one's bigger? 0.04 or 1? Obviously 1. So 1 has to be C1, the original stock solution. V2, how much I'm transferring each time how much I'm transferring, how much volume from the original stock. That's what I'm trying to find out, question mark. Hence it's a volume, centimeter cube is a unit. C2, what's the concentration of my new diluted solution? I can see a concentration here and a smaller number, so 0.04. What's the V2? What's my final volume of the dilutional stock or solution? Is 20 centimeter cube. So I just rearrange the formula to find my V1. Okay, so my V1 is 0.8 centimeter cube. So that should be 0.8 centimeter cube. What's the volume? So this is the amount that I have transferred from the original stock solution. into water. Total volume was 20 centimeter cube. So how much water was added? Very simple. 20 take away 0.8, 19.2 centimeter cube.